Slurpty diddly do, my G's. Hope you guys are all doing great. So I've got a video today talking about some MIDI patterns for writing hooks and little melodies using leads or basses for D&B. And what I've done is I've created a little mini MIDI pack for you guys for free to go along with my most recent Vital preset pack, DEFIANCE. And so this pack, this little MIDI pack, is just 5 little MIDI ideas, and you can download them on my Patreon page. I would like it if you joined as a free member though, because then it's really useful, because when I have other like updates and announcements to give, like you'll get them as well. So make sure you join on my Patreon as a free member at the minimum, and then you'll get these MIDI files if you want to use them as well in your project. Okay, so I've done five loops for you guys, so let's have a listen to them. And for each loop I've used a different preset from my Vital pack, but of course you don't have to use the same ones necessarily. And yeah, I've just recorded in the loops myself using my drum and bass oriented brain. Okay, so no music theory, I don't have that. No chat GPT input for this, all just my vibe on the keyboard for what I think sounds cool in D&B. And I've given them all some kind of cool little names as well, all right? So this first one is called Lacassik, and it's using the preset So Groove a Lot. And here's how it sounds. Yeah, so I love this. I love this vibe for like a like a hook, you know, because it basically it sort of like starts like all of these loops are on F. I should have mentioned as well. So they're all set to the key of F. And if you wanted to change it like to E or G, whatever, it's no problem. You can just grab them all, move it up to a G, for example. And so you can just move them, like move the root note around and move everything at once, and it's going to be fine, whatever root note you want to use, But I've done them all in the key of F to keep things easy. So I love this kind of vibe. It feels like very classic because it kind of starts on the root, then it goes up, and then it goes below the root, and then back up again, and then finishes back on the root. So it has this like up, down, like, and then sort of centralizing motion on it a bit, So it goes up through 3 semitones. So you go F, up to G sharp, back down to down to D, so below the root note, and then finishing up on the F sharp. And so that's the final note, and that's the tension note. Okay, so with my limited knowledge with music theory, how I approach writing melodies like by ear is like I just kind of feel like a note is sort of in the scale or it's breaking the scale. I kind of just think in those two terms. So these first two notes, like or the F, obviously that's the root, but then the G sharp, that's going up 3 semitones, so it's like very much in the scale. And then when I come down to the D, that sounds like it's kind of in the inner scale as well. But then when I go up to the F sharp, because that's like a semitone above the root, that's kind of breaking the scale. So that's the one that's creating tension. And it's nice to sometimes create that tension just at the end of the 4-bar loop, So yeah, that's the falling star. Sorry, not the falling star. That's next. That's the Lacassik. And basically also in the MIDI, you'll have some, they're usually sort of fairly quantized, but I'll have some parts where I want to keep it a bit longer or I want to keep it a bit shorter, like the kind of length of the note, And sometimes they'll overlap because I want it to glide. Sometimes they intentionally don't overlap because I want that restart in the Vital patch. So that's kind of up to you as well. And yeah, here, like this one kind of starts just after the second bar, and the same for this one here. So that also adds to the rhythm, So they're not always directly on the beat either, So that's important for variation. So anyway, that's Lacassik. Let's check out the falling star. And this one is using a preset called the Surprising Lag, which I really like. And this is more of a stabby, as you can see, MIDI pattern, and it has a very upward motion. I've called it the falling star because it falls at the end to below the root note, because as we know, all stars are built up and made to rise and shine, and then eventually the media tears them all down. That's how the world works, isn't it? So, you know, you just think back to Amy Winehouse. Everyone loved her. She was so amazing and we all loved her. And then the media just like destroyed her. And then everyone was like, her, you know? So that's, you know, that's life, you know, build people up and then tear them down right at the end. So that's the falling star. So it kind of just builds up and up. And how it builds up is like, by sort of like one semitone at a time, you know? So that's very, very much like not really in a scale. It's just like tension after tension after tension, and then down to this, back down to the E, which is also sort of one semitone away from the from the root. So it's just kind of constantly dealing in your sort of semitone up, semitone down vibe, you know? But yeah, like, works in drum and bass because it's giving you that tension, you know, even though it's like completely breaking the sort of scales and all the rules. It's just pure tension, but it works, you know. So that's the falling star. Let's go to the next one then. This one I'd like to call the new champion. And this one is using the floor filler Reese. Great preset from the Defiance pack. And here's how this one sounds then. Yeah, so this one, it's the new champion. It has that, I don't know, it just has a bit of a champion sound, you know? I just felt like it made me feel like a gladiator or something. I don't know. This one starts on F. And it jumps up quite high, but sort of in scale. Five semitones up, I believe. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 up to the A sharp. This is where it's a Reese as well, so it's gliding on this transition because they're overlapping, you know. But then it sort of resets here. It goes back. It sort of restarts again, and then it glides for the last part again. And so after the A sharp, I jump up to a C sharp, which is actually, if you look, 6, 7, 8 semitones. So if it was a 7, like on that C, that would kind of feel like it's sort of in the scale, you know. But it's actually on the 8, so it's sort of a semitone higher. So that's sort of the tension note there. So rather than the first loop, the Lacassik, I saved the tension for the end. Here, the tension happens sort of in the middle on this third bar. And then it sort of resolves. As it goes down to the C, that's like 7 semitones up. That's like a power chord or something. Perfect fifth, something. But it's sort of in scale again there for that last note, you know? So it really sort of goes... Yeah, really nice sort of first root note, then sort of up and in scale, then a bit of tension and up, and then slightly down again and back to the scale again, you know? So that's the new champion. Then I've got the Optimist, and for the Optimist I used the preset called Scatter Mouse, a bit of a lead sequence arpeggiated kind of ting. Let's have a listen. So again, it's got a similar vibe in the sort of going up, but it's like going up a bit higher, and it feels like slightly more of an optimistic kind of vibe, you know, a bit more major feeling, but it's still got that tension, that drum and bass tension in there as well. So again, starting on the F, we quickly pop up to the G sharp, so 3 semitones up, and then we jump right up. This is where things get very optimistic. We jump right up, but it stays in the scale. So it goes up to the D. And then we drop down to the C sharp, which is sort of out of scale, essentially. So the F, going up to the G sharp, that's sort of three semitones up. And then if you count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is it 9? Yeah, 9. So it jumps up to the 9 semitones up, that D. So that's still sort of very much in scale, Then it drops down to that 8 semitones up, which is the one that's sort of breaking the scale and adding in the tension, And then quickly drop back down to the G sharp once more before it finally resolves, So the tension note here is this guy. So you kind of like in scale, nice and optimistic and upbeat, a little bit of tension, and then back to the kind of optimistic ending here, Yeah, you need that bit of tension in there to make it more drum and bass, Otherwise, it's just all going to be too happy and too cheerful. That's the Optimist, and then finally, we'll take a quick look at the Secret Agent, which is the preset I've used for this one is called Segment Freud, and it's similar again. It's another sort of arpeggiated sequence lead kind of thing, right? Bit faster, bit more neurofunky vibe. But yeah, let's listen to the Secret Agent MIDI sort of pattern here. So it's got a bit more of a cheeky sound to it. It's a nice and cheeky Secret Agent. So it sort of starts a bit late. It starts sort of on the snare, so you have a little gap for the kick. But yeah, starting on the F again, and then it jumps straight up. I think that's a sort of tension note, isn't it? The C. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, it's not. It's going up 7 semitones, so it's kind of like a perfect fifth or like a power chord up, Yeah, so that's sort of still in scale, and then it drops down to that sort of 6 semitones. So that's sort of breaking the scale a bit there. That's giving the tension that B. It's quite a long one as well, a long one right in the middle. So that's why the whole pattern sounds like a bit more tense, because there's a lot of tension in that note there that's held out for long, Then you go back to the scale and resolve a bit here in the 3 semitones higher. The G sharp drops down to that, and then you go back to break the scale again on the E, which is just a semitone below the F. So that there again, you're adding in tension once more, So think like sort of root up nice and high in the scale, break with lots of tension, back to the scale again, and then another tension note at the end. Yeah, so that's the Secret Agent. So there you go. Those are 5 MIDI patterns, all really, really nice ideas for a sort of concept for a tune, So hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave a comment down below what you thought. Yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys on the channel. Please subscribe as well if you can. It really helps me out. It's free to do. Once you've done that and you want these packs, then come over to Patreon as well and join as a free member, because then I'll drop loads of stuff on there as well. And you can think of my Patreon, not only is it a way that you can support me financially if you want to, if you like my content, but think of it also as like the back end of my YouTube channel. It's like that's where I put the files, I drop stuff that I talk about on here, So really to get the most out of like me as a content creator and deliverer of musical ideas and concepts and packs and theories and samples and whatnot. Yeah, to get the most out of it, even just for free, it makes sense to subscribe to the channel and become a free member on Patreon. And both of those things, then you'll get notified when I have new videos, and you'll also get notified on Patreon when I drop like free samples or MIDI things or little things like that, For the more like advanced stuff and the more like in-depth community things like that all happens in the Discord, and that's something you do have to pay to get access to, but even before then you get loads more free value when you join Patreon as a free member. So thank you to everyone who does that as well. Quick other things below, there's some links to my website where you can also book in for production lessons on my calendar. You can find my email address down below for any queries or if you need mixing and mastering work done. And also on my website, you can find my preset packs for Vital, Serum, Phase Plant, and Current. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. More from me very soon. Much love.